The symbolism of gazelles and antelopes. In more general symbolism, the gazelle shares some of the symbolism of the lamb, in that it is an animal symbolising timid, meek, and gentle behaviour. And just as the lion must lay down with the lamb, in this similarly devised symbolism, it may also lay down with the gazelle. But when it does, things are a great deal more tragic in their outcome. The leaps of the gazelle. In ancient Arabia, before the Arabs adopted the Greek constellations, they had different configurations in the sky. Many star names come to us from this tradition. Leo Minor, shown in this picture by Hevelius, 1690, is the figure of a small lion positioned under the feet of the great bear, Ursa Major, and above the constellation Leo, the larger lion. The picture shows 3 of the bear's paws on the ground, and these are the 3 Gazelle Leaps. Nu, the star Alula Boreale, and Z, Alula Australe, mark the right hind foot of the greater bear, Ursa Major, and were the first leap of the gazelle. Lambda, Tania Borealis, and Mu, Tania Australis, together mark the bear's left hind foot, and were the second leap of the gazelle. Iota and Kappa mark the third leap, each pair of stars marking one spring or leap. They were collectively designated Kafsa al-Thiba, the springs of the gazelle. So where did the gazelle go? Idila, translator of Kazwini, an Arabian astronomy book, decided that the stars of Leo Minor had once been the Arabs al-Thiba wa Oladuha, the gazelle with her young. So it rather looks like she was eaten by a lesser lion than Leo. There is a constellation which we now call Coma Berenice, but in the Arab system was called Al-Haud, the pond. So the story that goes with this is that the gazelle sprang from the pond upon seeing the lion's tail. But which lion? The tuft in the Arabian system came right up to the pond, and the pond and the tail became Coma Berenice. The Arabian Leo was a huge constellation, and encompassed what are now a number of separate constellations. Tabitha. So, the Arabs Al-Thiba wa Oladuha is translated as the gazelle with her young. Arabic Thiba means gazelle, and the name Tabitha is derived from an Aramaic word that meant gazelle, Greek Tabitha from Aramaic Tabayatha. Anyone old enough to remember the TV series Bewitched will remember that Samantha, a witch in the programme, called her daughter, a baby witch, Tabitha. Tabitha Stevens was in 103 episodes from the show's third season in 1966 to the last original episode in 1972. Each time we see different names for the gazelle, however, it is always feminine, always spiritual, and always beautiful. The gazelle, a powerful symbol in Persian and Arabic poetry and art, symbolises feminine beauty, almost irresistible beauty, tragic beauty. Unrequited and tragic love. The Arabic verbal root gazala, gazelle, means to display amorous behaviour, to court, to woo. So this form of femininity has the ability, without even trying, to seduce men. And it is this verbal root that gives us more clues, as the gazelle is the feminine aspect of the tarot card, the Lovers, but with an added cruel twist. For in this symbol we encounter both an archetype character, see the video, that appears in numerous archetypal stories. Impossible, unrequited love that ends in tragedy. Helen of Troy and Paris. Romeo and Juliet of Shakespeare. Ovid's Pyramus and Thisbe. Hiawatha and Minnehaha by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and Layla and Majnun, the 7th century star-crossed lovers from warring Bedouin tribes in the pre-Islamic Middle East. Broken Heart, a cliché song lie, broken heart, too hackneyed, no place to start, but I sit here and anguish feeds, and my heart, this heart, broken, bleeds. In poetry, the ghazal is a Persian or Turkish poetic form. Ghazals are traditionally expressions of love, separation and loneliness, and the gazelle is a symbol for this. The gazelle can thus be understood as a poetic expression of both the pain of loss or separation and the beauty of love in spite of that pain. And symbolically in mysticism, it can represent the longing one's immortal soul, higher spirit, has for the personality that is the mortal soul, and from which it is separated on birth, as well as being a most effective, though perhaps not entirely welcome, method of providing spiritual experiences, especially artistic ones. And indeed all mystics long for the union, the reuniting of the immortal and mortal soul. But like moths to a flame, they may meet and join, but like Hiawatha, sink beneath the waves, joined but annihilated. Angelica, a Medor. He was handsome, he was kindly, he had wealth and he had style, and he married Angelica and she loved him for a while, but his kindness dulled her passion, and his politeness seemed to cloy, and Angelica, oh what madness, looked elsewhere to find more joy. Oh poor Roland, she thinks she's now a bore. Angelica, Amador. And in foreign land she found him, called Medor, a Saracen knight. No more kindness, no more softness, violent passion filled her nights. And he took her in dark hallways, and he lusted for her taste, and obsession for her grew until his life had gone to waste. O strong Medor, O fine Medor, unto her your life's blood pour. Angelica, Amador. He seduced her and he loved her, and his passion was so strong. He believed his love was honourable, that his love was not wrong. And he knew the power of love unleashed between two souls as one. For he craved her body constantly. Of other thoughts he'd none, of destruction, of disaster. End this madness, seek no more. Angelica, Angelica, Angelica gave it all. Angelica and her dark lover had met secretly quite late, in a patch of leafy woodland on Roland's huge estate. He'd made love to her for hours, and full of love's long kiss, he felt he needed to record this moment of pure bliss. "Oh, sweet love," she then suggested, "why not my name on that tree score? Angelica, 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 Amador." So he took his burnished dagger from its scabbard on the sword, and he carved her name into the bark of an old oak by a ford. "Angelica, I love you." Simple, yes, and words quite true, but pure dynamite if seen by those who were just passing through. Oh, foolish act, oh, reckless act, for her that you adore. Angelica, 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 Amador. One soft September morning, Roland and his faithless spouse were riding through the woodland of his estate far from the house, and as they neared that familiar spot, a shepherd to them did speak, saying it was a joy he'd seen how Roland loved sweet Angelique. The shepherd showed Roland the tree, the words were like a saw. Angelica, 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 Amador. Roland hit her. No more kindness. Roland's fury knew no bounds, and in the woods was silence except for crying, hurting sounds, and he beat her till she cried from pain, and beat her naked frame. Furious Roland, only anger, ugly anger, not the same, and the jealousy and hatred did at his hard heart gnaw. Angelica, 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 Amador. He cut away the loving text carved on that old oak tree, and locked his wife in tower tall, no more the world to see. But they found her 10 days later, with a knife right through her heart, the knife that carved the message that had caused their lives to part. And a message there on paper was found upon the floor. Angelica, 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 Amador. You can wrench the love from that oak bark and leave the poor tree scarred. You can tie me up, imprison me, from life and love be barred. But you can't destroy the love I have for my brave knight Medor, for the one who carved that message is in my heart forevermore. And in her heart they found words cut through amongst the gore. Angelica, Angelica, Angelica loves Medor.